Are you ready to find out if you're actually ready to start delegating and working with an executive assistant in the first place? In this video, I'm going to make sure that you skip the hemming, the hawing, the trauma of hiring someone before you are ready in your business, and what are the green flags and the red flags that you should find out for yourself before you even think of hiring. But of course, I'm also going to show you that if you don't hire an assistant just yet, you are paying not with money, but with your own time as the business owner. Now, as someone who has had an executive assistant campaign for the last 6 years, I have heard almost every single reason that someone says that I am ready to hire an assistant. And with a lot of content creators like myself, we would tell you the same thing, like you need an assistant. And for a lot of the time, it is typically true. But no one actually tells you when you're actually ready, what that ready actually looks like. But if you've seen any of my own videos, I never tell you delegate everything. I never tell you hire right away, because when you're hiring before you're ready, you are wasting your time, your money, your EA's time, and their sanity and your sanity, and you basically just want to quit and never want to hire ever again. I've heard this before, and so I'll walk you through how to avoid this. The reality is that timing matters. And the main key thing, if you can just basically not finish this whole video and get to this main key thing, the moment that you have a repeatable way to make money is when you are ready to delegate. Not when you're busy, not when you just hit some sort of revenue number in your head. It is basically when you have a proven way to bring in clients or customers consistently. Because you have to keep in mind, when you're hiring, when you're delegating things to someone, they are expecting a regular salary, not just when you have money, but it's basically as they're still doing the work that you hired them to be able to do. Now, the first green flag, basically, that you're ready to hire and start delegating is when you are actually actively turning down work or even missing follow-ups just because you don't have capacity anymore. If opportunity starts slipping through the cracks, you're not answering to people who are wanting to have you as a guest on a podcast, or even an actual client who wants to start paying you, this is where your executive assistant can help expand that capacity for you, where there is someone who is guiding your clients through a process because you do have a process, or to the point where they are just answering, making sure things get caught and nothing slips through the cracks. So that is where your executive assistant can shine through. Next green flag is that you're doing the same tasks over and over again every single week. Is that you essentially, again, you have a process. There's a repeatable way for you to do things. You have your daily, weekly, monthly tasks with yourself. And this is essentially where your executive assistant comes in. Is your assistant essentially is the one who can help you when it comes to running your business, so you can focus on growing your business. And that's really the difference and kind of the key leverage of having an assistant, is that the assistant is the one running, so maintaining things, making sure things going, making sure bills get paid, making sure that invoices are sent out, making sure that emails are responded to, meetings are set, and your travel is taken care of. This is where an executive assistant shines, is keeping things running so you can focus on actually growing your business, because you're not having things fall through the cracks anymore. You can actually answer to opportunities. You can say yes or no to them. But the point is that you are now in a different level as you start thinking of what should I delegate more? Your assistant essentially is there to catch. And a really big green flag is that you have about 10 hours of work that you can start handing off today. This is a process that I run a lot of our own clients through. Or basically, I find out what their 80-20 is of out of the 10 things that they're doing, what are the 2 that they definitely can't delegate, and then finding that 80% of what they can delegate in their day. And if you want to deep dive into that, I do have other videos on how to do the audit yourself, or of course you can book a call with me and we'll do that whole process of finding out what you can delegate when you can't delegate. Because a lot of the time when you're hiring someone, the main key piece here is you need to be able to give them clarity. If you don't have clarity yourself as the employer, as the business owner, as their client, they're also going to be lost. They're also going to be feeling that they have to be everywhere all at once. So for you, your support, your main responsibility is find out what are those 10 hours of work that you can start delegating. Because even if it's just 10 hours of work for you, it could be something that is part-time for an assistant or even full-time. Because right now you're in a space where you're like, okay, I could do that in 5 minutes, but for someone else to learn that, to create a process out of that, to upgrade that, it might take your assistant a little bit longer than you are currently doing it. And that's okay. That's normal. That's to be expected when someone else is new to what it is that you're currently doing to your processes. Because even if an assistant has had 10 years experience doing that same email management process, your preferences, how you like it done, is going to be different than the other clients that they've ever had. Now to the good stuff, to the red flags that you're probably not there yet when it comes to delegating and hiring an assistant for your business. First one is your revenue is inconsistent month to month. And this is something that I covered right off the bat. That's why I said if you could take away anything from this video, it's basically this. But if you are still finding where you don't have enough client retention, you don't have enough customer retention, or you keep having to grind and push through to be able to get consistent numbers every month, then you're not ready yet for an assistant. If you don't know where your next client is coming from, that is the issue. That's the first thing that you as the business owner needs to fix and create a process out of, and not expect your assistant to be the magic pill to come in to fix everything else. The next red flag is if you don't know what you need them to do. If you're just feeling pain, and I usually describe when you start hiring, usually hire out of pain. You usually, fell off the tree, you were climbing really, really fast and you fell off the tree and you're bleeding and you think that that's the only cut that you have, but no, you might have internal bleeding, you might have a broken bone. So you don't have basically the deeper clarity of what needs to be fixed. And for you are again responsible for that clarity for your assistant or for whoever you are hiring. I'll figure it out when they start is a mindset that hurts both you and the executive assistant, who ends up confused, underutilized, or at worst, overwhelmed in the first 60 days that they're working with you. And this is why you need that clarity of going through kind of even just a self-assessment of what are things that only I can do as a business owner so I can start delegating the rest. So for example, for me, when I started this whole process for myself, because of course, I can't be the person who runs an executive assistant company who doesn't have an executive assistant. I went through this process of like, my main two things in my day is doing client calls and creating content like this. I love doing the client calls because I use that, of course, for creating content. So I love being the one who's still front and center in the business, but the rest of it, I've started to delegate. I started, my video editing, my content repurposing, all of that is now my executive assistant and AI, and of course, an amazing video editor. When it comes to before I show up for a call, before and after, my assistant already assessed this person, stalked this person, looked them up online to see if they could be a match for me. And then afterwards, whether they say yes or no, there's a process that she follows to make sure that that person feels still taken care of, whether they said yes to working with us or no to working with us. So for you as the business owner, you need to have that clarity of what are the things, again, that only you can do in your business, and what are things that you can start delegating and giving off to someone else. Not expecting them to do them all at once, but then gradually training them to that point where for you, you're comfortable to just work on the main things, the main key things in your business while you start delegating the rest. And the biggest red flag is that you're hoping your assistant can fix your business. And again, they cannot. They're not you. They're not the person who started this business. They're not the person who got inspired to bring value into the world, to make money out of this. That is up to you. Your assistant is not supposed to be your fixer-upper. Your assistant is there to multiply you. That's why our company name is called 2XU, is basically multiply who you are, where you are now at. And yes, they can build systems, they can build processes for you, they can create templates and all of the good stuff. But that still starts with you having that clarity, having the responsibility as well that you are going to be hiring someone who will depend on you to be able to put food basically onto their family's table. And for you to think that, oh, I just need an assistant to fix everything. That's where a lot of people get burnt out. That's where a lot of people go overwhelmed. And that's where we get people who swear they're never going to hire an assistant ever again. So again, our readiness checklist is one, you have a repeatable way to bring in money, whether that's clients, customers, whatever that looks like in your business. You know where your next money or paycheck is coming from. Next, you can name about 10 hours of work basically that you can start delegating to someone else, because that will ramp up and free you up to be able to think of other things to delegate to your assistant. And you have things that your assistant can build systems on, that they're not just going to be stumbled upon and they have to figure it out all themselves. You can actually give them even just video walkthroughs on Zoom or a Loom, where they can then start building your setup and procedures, your assets, your templates inside of your business, because there is something to document. The key here is, again, don't rush it, but also don't wait forever, because then you're going to be stuck and overwhelmed. And then that means that whoever assistant that you hire is also going to be stuck and overwhelmed, because again, they're here to multiply you. They're here to double whatever it is that you're currently working on. So if for you, you're not sure as well, then you're just going to double more of that as well. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any questions you might have on hiring or working with an executive assistant. I would love to know and answer them in a future video. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Thursday on how to grow your business, especially with an executive assistant and AI. And if you want to know more of what it's like to be an executive assistant for some reason, I do have another channel right here where I talk about more of career and AI. And of course, you can check out more of my other videos right here. Hope you guys have an amazing and fantastic day. And with that, small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.